Last video I talked about gimmicks, how heavy music needs to embrace them, and why many bands don't do enough to stand out. You can check out that video in the YouTube card and the description below. The comment section did a great job suggesting bands that are not only great, but also use a gimmick to help you recognize and offer more than a generic presentation in t-shirts and jeans on stage. With many suggestions taken, this video will look at 10 bands with great gimmicks. With all the talk of gimmicks and how the elitists truly do despise them, I want to reiterate that a gimmick should elevate a band. A good band with a good gimmick gets remembered more easily than a good band that looks like 4 people on stage that met at a bus stop. This video is not a top 10, no ranking, just a list. This video is also not bringing into question the quality of past albums or which era of music with each band is best performed. This list is simpler than that. It's about great bands that also have gimmicks. I must spell that out because many people don't understand or read too much into things. You know how these videos work. Let's check out some bands who know how to present themselves. I mentioned Ice Nine Kills in the previous video for embracing horror as their gimmick, and this is what has raised the group's popularity exponentially. Not saying the group didn't have fans before, but once the Silver Scream came out and Ink started dedicating music to horror films and characters, they instantly had a spotlight for them. It's worth pointing out that since Ice Nine Kills went with horror in their albums, both album sales and singles significantly increased, and that's not saying anything bad about their previous work. The gimmick catapulted the band into higher territory, and metal fans, metalcore fans, music fans in general are eating it up. The band is dedicated also to continuing story arc through music videos, thinking outside of just movie horror and going into video games and literature. There's going to be a horror convention with a band called Silver Scream Con, all while continuing to make heavy music. There is no other way to say it. Ice Nine Kills is killing it. Time to get spiritual and receive a message from Papa Emeritus and his faithful followers. Sounds peaceful, right? That really is a big element for Ghost, just inverted. Tobias Forge has created much more than a Spirit Halloween level Satanist cult. This is a group with running lore, nameless ghouls, and a backing band, characters, full costumes, and a new religious leader as a singer every few years. Technically. I remember in the beginning of 2020 when Ghost was in Mexico when Cardinal Copia became Papa, and that not only ended the tour but started the next chapter for Ghost. It was fun, lots to talk about and get excited over. All these things that many other bands couldn't dream of attempting because Ghost goes above and beyond for all this. Tobias is a creative musician but also needs credit as more than just a musician, but someone that can write and create long-term ideas around the music. That's rare in rock and metal, and now it's selling out arenas in several continents. Ghost are proving that the stage spectacle sells. Nameless ghouls not your type of blasphemy? How about werewolves? Powerwolf are such a big deal in Europe, and I truly wish that would translate more in North America. German power metal, but with dark themes and rising up the metal masses. Powerwolf took a subgenre, flipped it on its head, and pushed forward into the night. Everyone is dancing with the dead at a Powerwolf show because of it. I'm not doing the metal mass enough justice by describing it either. Every song at a Powerwolf show involves chanting, singing, clapping. The music videos along with the stage presentation is a dark ceremony that you smile while singing along with. Where power metal can be cheesy at times, Powerwolf is the finest aged cheddar that you show off at a dinner party. European metal fans treat Powerwolf as the spiritual werewolf metal deities that they are. People see Powerwolf as something instantly memorable and running with a gimmick that makes you want to happily embrace the morbid and horrifying. They've nailed that. Now we go to the cosmos. It's one thing to sing about space travel and exploration, it's another to live the lifestyle and know what you are talking about. Starset have proven they not only understand the science and the final frontier, but write albums with an ongoing narrative. Then add an impressive stage show that evolved from astronauts to post-apocalyptic survivors, and it's all a massive package. I was on board that Starset shuttle early on, and it was instantly noticeable that they were trying to go farther than a standard rock band. From the first time I saw Starset in 2015 up until the most recent time in 2021, Dustin Bates and company have refused to keep the same format. Along with the music playing with different electronic elements and even subgenres, Starset's lights and graphics show have become a staple of why people sell out venues to see a demonstration. I love Starset's music, but it's the full embracing of the gimmick that elevated the band from day one. A gimmick many people don't take into consideration is anonymity. Sleep Token banks on that, so much so that the entire band keeps their names and faces hidden to shroud the band. Singer Vessel and a group worshipping a deity known simply as Sleep. Does that sound incredibly vague and mysterious? That's the whole point, and it has people hooked both with the music and the desire to know more. It's not even the simplicity, but that pull to want to understand Sleep Token. People are curious by nature, and when you have a singer and group intentionally holding back information and only giving it out in doses through the music, you make people want to know more. The mystery is the gimmick. The fan base is becoming cult-like. Sleep Token is going out supporting bigger names on tours, and the group is still relatively early in their career. Without big photo ops and interviews showing their names and giving quotes, Sleep Token are staying anonymous and making music. The enigmatic style is having success. Want more dedication to a narrative? Claudio Sanchez has you covered, as Coheed and Cambria are still telling the story of the Amory Wars. Think about how many albums and years Coheed have dedicated to many characters and stories, along with the comics to accompany everything. The ongoing saga is so in-depth that it's easy to get lost and left behind, but that's also what has made lifelong fans. The gimmick here isn't so much stage presentation or flashy outfits as it is dedication to prog and the never-ender of a story that is the Amory Wars. There are fans who treat the band as secondary. They just want to know the story and the next chapters and the characters, and I think that is wild. Claudio can sing and play his butt off, but it's the dedication to the creative universe and space fantasy that put Coheed and Cambria in a world of their own. It's the combination of hard rock, prog, space battles, ongoing stories. If there was a genre called nerd rock, Coheed would fit in, and I mean that as a compliment. One group who has won thousands of fans over the years by their live performances alone is in this moment. It's not just playing live, it's the entire experience. It's theatrical, it's intense, it's a showcase for something different. On top of that, in this moment, we're not always doing the big presentation. Once they adapted it to the band as a big part of their identity, the live show became the great gimmick. And what many people don't know is just how much of it was DIY. It was the members of In This Moment and touring crew spray painting sculptures and pieces in parking lots and building everything as they go. That evolved to having dancers on stage and Maria Brink changing outfits between songs to make everything stand out more visually. The costumes, the makeup, the dancers, the smoke guns, the light shows, the projections, there is a massive amount going into In This Moment Live, and I truly feel that is what hooks so many new fans. In This Moment adapted the live show gimmick, and they were elevated and have earned a big following because of that dedication to live performance. Sabaton has made history lessons come alive. That might sound cliche, but that's exactly what the group has done with their dedication to famous wars, battle stories, and everything glorifying nations fighting each other, both historical and fictional. It's glorifying the history of violence in true metal form and acknowledging that blood and metal alone move the wheels of history, or whatever Gandhi said. Take a broad enough gimmick like history, focus in on warring nations, and you have so much to work with for a topic. Sabaton brings that to life in the music videos, the stage presence, the battle garb when performing live, everything. And what's also great is that the band looks like they are having the time of their life when they're performing. Sabaton dug deep into their own style, and their music stands out because they have a dominant handle on the crossover between historical warfare and heavy metal. It's amazing how more bands haven't dived into crossovers like that, because Sabaton proved it's a gold mine. A gimmick that not many other bands are running with, but still broad enough to have plenty of room to grow and be creative with? Vikings. Amon Amarth have nailed the lore from Icefield battles to praise for Odin. High-tier metal with deep booming vocals that fit the identity of Viking life that translates extremely well to the stage as Amon Amarth go above and beyond there as well. I had enjoyed Amon Amarth for a while before I saw the band live for the first time in 2017, but when I saw the band perform on stage with a giant fire-breathing Viking ship and dressed up warriors fighting each other while the band plays around them, I realized Amon Amarth had something special. It's not an overdone gimmick out there in metal, and Amon Amarth are also expanding what they can cover in music videos, comparing it to modern-day Vikings and fight clubs and Mad Max style battles. There's much more untapped ground within the gimmick that only helps the band stand out more. Long Live the Nine is much more than an expression or tagline. Slipknot has set a high bar for many bands, from stage presentation to album content to unique masks for each album cycle. The list goes on and on. What's great about it is that there are multiple facets of what has made the band so recognizable that it's hard for other bands to even compare. It's not just metal, it's Slipknot. For over 20 years, around the time the self-titled album came out, with songs like Wait and Bleed and Spit It Out getting attention, people instantly remembered the music along with the band, with 9 members all going insane while performing it. You attach the visual with the music instantly. Slipknot also don't ride on their laurels with that image. They change their masks up. They make albums sound different from one another in tone over years. They embrace new ideas while keeping the core of their identity as Slipknot, being a giant concept. You can argue that Slipknot uses multiple gimmicks, masks, on-stage outfits that match, live presentation, etc. In my mind, the great music that Slipknot has made is remembered more quickly because of the image presented with the music. Gimmicks can work. A great band may not stand out as well if they don't have one. I know people complain about gimmicks and how they shouldn't depend on them, but without a good gimmick, think how many amazing bands never would have been noticed. This was a look at 10 great bands with gimmicks. Know of another group that had something unique to stand out? Leave a comment and let everyone know. Big thanks to my patrons and special thanks to Chris Doman and Dom Noble. You can have a say in upcoming videos, get weekly new music playlists, and see videos early by supporting Rocked on Patreon. Please click the link in the video description for more information. Please subscribe and ring the bell to get notified of upcoming videos, and you can keep up to date with Rocked on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Also, if this video does well with views, I'll make a follow-up for bands with bad gimmicks. There are unfortunately quite a few.